Hey, good to see everyone. All right, start with a little about me. I'm a cancer survivor. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. My dad actually died of cancer, so, who's a pussy now, Dad? All right. Yeah, he was a tough guy. Very important to him to be tough. Part of it, I think, was the environment we're in, the culture in eastern Montana. They used to say cowboy up. Everybody know what this means? Yeah, that's right. It's like get tough, but they use it in different ways. One way is like tell somebody you're strong enough to get through this, which is nice. Another way is to pressure somebody to do something dangerous or stupid, which is less nice. Give it some examples like, all right, cowboy up, I believe in you, or cowboy up, do it, pussy. All right. Yeah, the second is what they said to me when I was skittish about tackling a 500-pound steer so they could castrate and brand it. Now, that's a big animal who's fighting to keep its balls. So, if you think that, a couple of rednecks saying cowboy up is going to pressure me into doing it, you'd be right. Because, I don't know, it worked. I tackled that poor animal. It's effective. It worked. It was not effective enough to get me to eat the testicles after they cut them off. There's not enough cowboy ups in the world. See some confusion and disgust. Yeah, they eat them. Like, you can order them at restaurants and they call them Rocky Mountain oysters. Gross. But during branding, they'll cut them off, throw them on the branding iron for a minute, and eat them half raw right there in the field. Yeah. All right, I had to watch it. All right, cowboy up a little bit. We'll get through this. All right. Not that bad. All right. So, yeah, it was a tough place to grow up. It was very conservative, except for the ball gobbling. But yeah, so it's hard to grow up there. So, and especially hard with my dad always making homophobic comments about me. I don't understand why this man was, infatuated with my sexual identity before I even knew what it was. When I was 14, he sat me down and said he'd rather I was a homeless heroin addict than a queer, because then he could still be proud of me. Yeah, hilarious. No, it was crazy. It was a hard time for me. It was really scary and especially confusing because I'm not gay. I don't know why he said these things all the time. One thing in his defense, I did like to read, and I ordered wheat toast one time. Now, in eastern Montana, that might be all the evidence that you need. And he wasn't the only one. Some other people did too. I think it might have been because I didn't act tough, or because they also heard the toast rumor. I don't know. And I wasn't defensive of it because I wasn't offended by the statement, but I did have to deny it. I'm an ally. I'm an advocate, but they were still beating gay people to death back then. Like I'll sign your petition, but that's about it. So a minute ago I said the word queer and nobody even flinched. But back when my dad said it, that was still a pretty nasty slur that people were using. I don't know if there's a more successful reclamation story of a word than that. Let's hear it for the community for taking that one back. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, they also took the full spectrum of colors and a quarter of our letters, but It's okay. I don't want to complain too much. I'm not going to trade any of my privilege to get those things back. So it's okay. So if you get to know someone and you don't notice all the signs that they're a toxic person, they say that you didn't see the red flags, right? Now, if it's the same thing with a gay person, you say you missed the rainbow flags, right? Like. She wore a lot of plaid, even for Portland, and plus actually had physical rainbow flags all over the place, which that's on me. That would be on me. Yeah, things were tough with my dad, but for everything that I went through, when he was stage 4, terminal, and in bed, it was actually me that he called to come in and talk to him, so he could tell me that he was afraid to die. It was a big moment. After all that. And I went in and I looked down and he was weak and sick and, vulnerable for the first time in my life. So I looked him in the eye and held him by the hand and I said, "Cowboy the fuck up, Dad. Oh my God. Die like a man." Thanks, everyone. I'm Marcus French. Thanks for listening.